What's shaking, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Tears for Fears. And we're continuing through the bonus tracks from the era of Raoul and the Kings of Spain, 1995. Thank you again to Kim and to all those who've been part of this deep dive. And I will go back to that 80s live concert recording I have access to, as well as some other live performances from more recent years, and we've got more bonus tunes, so yes, there's plenty more Tears for Fears to come. But yes, the next track in these Raoul and the Kings of Spain bonus tunes is Until I Drown, which has a darkness to it. Obviously, drowning can be more than literally drowning. You can drown in depression, or you can drown in some intense feeling or emotion, and perhaps you can drown in the complications or difficulties of your personal life, your social life, and so on. But obviously, it sounds dark. It doesn't sound good. Drowning suggests that you can't get to the surface. You can't breathe. You are going to perhaps perish. And even if that is metaphorical, it doesn't sound happy and pleasant. And until I drown, that phrasing suggests a passage of time between now and whenever the drowning will occur, and maybe some action or some attitude or some scenario that will be the case until the narrator drowns. So yeah, there's a lot implied by the title, and it is a bit poetic, but it is of course just a simple phrase, and many things could run in different directions depending on the specifics. So I will try to follow what I can. Let's hear it. This is Tears for Fears. The song is Until I Drown, and it's a bonus tune included in a folder for non-album tracks from the era of Raoul and the Kings of Spain. lyrically, that one's fascinating. And definitely a big shift from the more, I don't know, 60s style art pop of the first couple minutes of the tune. A simple guitar, some strings in there. Again, it sounds like a track that could be from, the mid 60s or something. And then the more, let's say, pop rock or like rock stylings that came in the last third of the track, they definitely were a notable shift. More energy, more of a like, 80s/90s sound. It definitely gave it a big change. And yeah, lyrically, I don't know. He's talking about, the days, they're all the same. There's this monotony to his life, and there's nothing to distinguish one day from the next. They wax and they wane. They go through the cycles, the daily cycles, and the rising of the sun and rising of the moon, and these waxing and wanings, but they seem all the same. And he's saying like he'll be here. The condition that is going to be consistent until he drowns is his presence. Now that could be a comment on our mortality, that, for better or worse, and in these cycles that define our lives, we're here until we drown, until we die. But I suspect there's something more specific happening here, but I can't quite capture it. And that line, like, time is all what? I couldn't hear that line clearly. And maybe that line goes a long way toward framing the rest of those lines in the chorus that I was catching. But yeah, I enjoy the guitar, again, sort of like a 60s acoustic guitar vibe. There's also like what sounded, I don't know, something like the keyboard or electric version of an oboe or something. It sounded like a woodwind, but there was something about the quality of it that it didn't sound like a true woodwind, but like, a keyboard run, but in like a woodwind kit, if you will. Also, there were, I think, some string synths in there. And at the end, I was noticing this, it wasn't like a theremin, but it was like this high, like different kind of electronic or keyboard sound that was really standing out as the tune began to fade. So, sonically very rich. I enjoy Roland's vocals. They did have that kind of like singer-songwriter, again, like, 60s with an acoustic guitar vocal style. But as I said, the sonics really shifted notably when it went into the fuller, like more percussive rock sounding part that was in the last, 35-40% of the tune. So yeah, a really cool one. And I enjoyed the vibes before that. Like in the first 60% of the tune, I enjoyed the like more acoustic sounding, more mellow, like art pop type of sound. So like I enjoyed the tune overall. I'm just not quite sure how to take the lyrics, and again, whether that's a more specific narrative, but maybe extrapolating some general principles from that, or whether it really is this kind of commentary on, humanity, mortality, our lives specifically. So, yeah, I do wonder what's happening here thematically. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.